G'day you beautiful people, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at a beginner guide not a beginner guide, we're taking a look at a beginner build for Rhino. Rhino is a very sturdy mofo, and the main reasoning behind this build would be, again, this is going to be a no forma build. It's for beginners. It's mostly used by me for the index. Rhino is one of the best, if not the best, people to carry around the points on index, because I'm sure you probably know that when you start to stack up points in index without handing them in, your health starts to decrease, which is not really an issue for him, considering as long as he has his iron skin ability up, he is pretty much unkillable. So as long as you keep an eye on the timer, well, not the timer, but the amount of iron skin you have left, and you get somewhere to get energy and stay safe and prepare to put your iron skin on again, you're pretty much unkillable. So we'll take a look at it. Alright, so there are two cards, two upgrades missing right now, because I tend to run with this, where are they? I run Blind Rage, which is not maxed out, and what is the other thing that I use? I don't even remember. It's a 7. Oh, it's a 7-pointer. That is why. It's an All the Secrets. And Blind Rage tends to be a pretty rare drop from vault runs, I find. I've done quite a few. I haven't done as many as, the majority of veteran players out there. So Blind Rage is definitely out there. You can go and get yourself it. August Secrets is kind of the same. Like, it's a little bit expensive. You may get lucky and find it for 20 to 30 plat. Or you may find people selling it from 40 to 60 plat. And for a 7-point card, that kind of seems very expensive, but it is quite good. 24% ability strength, and it is quite a rare card. But Blind Rage, I actually like it this way, having Blind Rage only upgraded a little bit to get the extra 36% strength, because it messes with your efficiency quite a lot, and we're not running energy on this build, so having the efficiency is quite important, because as you'll see, we have 150 energy and it costs us 60 just to use the iron skin. So with one full amount of energy at 150, we can't even do iron skin and Rhino Stomp. We can only do iron skin and raw, which is good enough, because you tend to find a lot of the times that when you go and pick up energy in the index, by the time you need to use iron skin again, you've got no energy anyway. It's just depleted. So being able to use iron skin and use a raw once, which will last 21 seconds on the build that I'm using currently and have 130% damage increase, is quite nice. So with them out of the way, so that's why I don't upgrade that too much, just to keep the efficiency down. So if you do have August Secrets and you have Blind Rage, perhaps you might have actually already upgraded your Blind Rage, so you won't be able to do it the way that I do it, because it will be quite expensive. You'll only be left with around about, I forget what that goes to. That's a 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's a 16. So that would leave you with no points left. I only have one Blind Rage. So really what we're looking at is we're looking at Armored Agility, not too hard to get your hands on. Steel Fiber maxed out to get the armor on there. Transient Fortitude for strength, which is not too hard to get your hands on that. Intensify for strength. Power Drift for strength. And Gladiator Aegis for armor. Okay, so if we have a look, we have our iron skin at 5250. So it's affected by armor for your Warframe, and it's affected by power. Okay, so that is why we've got so much armor on there. You'll notice that if I do actually go and put, it's right there. So we were at 5250, and if we put August Secrets and Blind Rage back on, we're at 6825. So if you can get that extra strength, go for it, because that's going to allow you to take a lot more damage before your armor's gone. But options for not running these. So in order to make this build as best as you can, what I would recommend that you do is just go into the mod section and just type in armor and put on whatever you have. You know, Gladiator Aegis, pretty common. Steel Fiber, you've definitely got Steel Fiber, so that's 2 of the armor cards out of the way. Armored Agility is pretty easy to come by, just keep your eye out for it. I would hazard a guess that you've probably got Intensify. Power Drift you may not have, but you should be able to get it for around about 10 plat if you're lucky. And Transient Fortitude's not too hard to get your hands on. It's worthwhile spending the cash on that because you can solo a lot of stuff by yourself. So just typing armor in there and strength in there will get you the cards that you need to up your armor. I am running Rifle Amp. I could easily run Steel Charge to get an extra couple of points, which would mean that if I was to run Blind Rage and All the Secrets, I would still have 4 points left, so I could continue to upgrade this, or I could run August Secrets with, with Constitution to up the duration of my damage buff. There's a bunch of different options, but I don't like having Steel Charge on when I go into the index because I tend to find that my melees don't do anywhere near as much damage as what my something like my Tigress will do. So I'll run Tigress in there anyway, so there's no point having Steel Charge on. So that is, in a nutshell, the basic build. If you wanted some options for things you can go into, if you're doing some different higher level content, or if you just want to have, say, a little bit more health in order to survive a little bit when your armor runs out and you can pop it again, what I would recommend doing is I have an 8-point Streamline and I have an 8-point Vitality. So that will give me 580 health and a little bit more efficiency. The 580 health will mean you have a little bit more time to get your ability off again, and the efficiency will take your Iron Skin down from 60 to 38, and your Rhino Stomp down from 120 to 75. I think Raw was at 90, down to 56. So that's a very, very good option. And obviously, if you didn't want to run, the health on there, you can run anything you want. Another option, just off the top of my head, is that you could perhaps just run Continuity, and then you have 7 points left, which you could use an Augur Message ability duration mod on. Those will up your duration of your Raw, taking it up to 37 seconds. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was at nearly 22 seconds before, so that works pretty well. You can also do the same thing instead and go for range. So you could run Augur Reach and Stretch to get your range up to 175%, which is going to increase the distance on your Raw to where it affects your allies. It will also increase the radius on your and distance on your Rhino Charge, on your Rhino Stomp as well, which is not a bad bet because your Rhino Stomp's going to have a good amount of damage mixed in with it as well. 1600 damage is not bad at all. You can mess about with these two slots as much as you want. You could do a combination of both, or you could maybe chuck that 8-point Streamline on. And actually, you can chuck a 9-point Streamline on because you're going to go for a 7-point card, and then just go for duration to get that back up wherever that hell that bloody thing is. It was right there next to me. It was literally right next to my cursor. So you can get your duration back up to pretty much 100%. Just mess with it the way that you want it. Make that the way that you want it. If you were going to go ahead and forma this to make the strongest build possible, I would want August Secrets on, and I would want Blind Rage on. I would definitely first former into this build, go for the Blind Rage V slot up here, because that is going to be your most expensive card that's on there, pretty much, and a V is very, very good. So, you know, the Blind Rage or the Transient Fortitude, having a polarity slot for it is going to be very, very handy. Then the rest of these are pretty cheap. You know, but the main reason why you would be forming that, you know, to get an extra 8 points is if you wanted to put an Exilus adapter onto your build. You could then put Power Drift up there, and you would have 8 points left. You could run an 8-point. You could run an 8-point Streamline. You could also put another V on if you wanted to do another one. Put another V on, and then you would have 16 points. So you could pretty much run absolutely anything that you want. So the way that I have it right now, as you can see, is pretty expensive for abilities. 60 for the Iron Skin, 120 for the Rhino Stomp. But I tend to not have too much of an issue, you know, collecting my points, you know, getting a Roar off and an Iron Skin off with the energy that I have. When I'm getting close to having no energy, go and get more energy. And, you know, you can stack up points really, really easily. You'll go down to about 15 health. You know, so you do have to be very, very careful. Once you get to the point where you have like 15 health, if you have, say, you know, low amount of armor left, like 25% or lower, probably a good idea just to go and hand those points in, because when your armor runs out, you're only going to have 15 health, and there is no way in hell that any enemy within the index is not going to kill you one shot when you have no armor. But it's just pretty standard build, with some maybe not so standard cards in here. I would assume that everyone has Steel Fiber, Intensify. Power Drift, as I said, is really, really cheap. Armored Agility, if you keep your eyes out, you will find it. Transient Fortitude, you can get at a reasonable price. And Gladiator Aegis, I'm hoping that a lot of you actually have this. Let's see if we have any more. So it is, wait, is it? Yeah, it's Aegis. So, yeah, it's the only one, it's one of the only cards that I actually, why did I do that? That I have many duplicates of. If we put in Gladiator, there are a few of the Gladiator mods that are quite rare. So, you know, Gladiator Finesse, I ended up with quite a few. Gladiator Resolve, I only have one. No, I don't. I have 3 spares, so I actually got 4 of them. I got 4 Gladiator Aegis. And 4 Finesse, so, you know, there's a good chance that you've got one sitting there that you maybe just haven't thought to use. But it's a very strong build. Like I said, you're going to have over 6,000 armor on your Iron Skin. Your Roar is going to be stupid strong. It's going to be great. And, you know, if you get used to it and you play smart, put something like a Tigress on, you know, put some forma into your Tigress instead of your Rhino, so that you're doing more damage with your weapon. That's a little bit laggy. You'll be more efficient, because, you know, the first thought is to, I'm going to, you know, forma my Rhino so that he's stronger and he can hold more shit. You're actually going to do better if you forma something like your Tigress. If you have a Tigress, whatever shotgun you have, it's going to do you better. This is a Riven that was lent to me by the wonderful Chaos Eternal. So, yeah, nothing too special there. It's just a Radiation Toxin build on my Tigress right now. It does really good damage. It needs to be formed further. I just have not gotten around to it. But yeah, I would form a weapon before you form a Rhino, because you can easily get Rhino to the point where he has 6,000, like nearly 7,000 ferrite armor on his Iron Skin, so that's great. So that is, I think I've pretty much covered everything. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything that you feel like I didn't cover or didn't cover properly, if you have any questions about the mods and where to get them, leave all that in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, if it helped you in any way, shape or form, smash the like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the bloody subscribe button. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.